So I decided I'll make this design and put the double light heart in the middle. So I will sew it to this top I made. This is just one layer of vinyl, so I'll sew it to the middle of this. As you can see here, I trimmed around the heart, and then I pinned it down to where I wanted it on the front of the top. So let's start sewing. So I'm gonna sew like just right close to the edge of the outer heart. And as I get closer to a resistor, I'll stop and lift up my foot and jump to the next past that resistor. Probably easier to hand sew it, but whatever works. So now that I sewed it down, I'll trim the excess on the outside, but making sure I don't cut a resistor. Now that I have this cut out, I'll trace on top of it with gift wrap paper to make a pattern so I can cover it with a red heart. So I cut out my heart pattern, but I realized that when I folded it in half it wasn't really equal on both sides. So I traced it on a folded piece of paper and then cut it so it's symmetrical. So now I'll take this and I made a cutout here with a transparent heart of interface and this like swirly fabric I found from Joann's, and I'll just trace that on top. So I traced my pattern on top of the red vinyl. So now I'm placing it so that the middle lights will show through this center heart. And just feel around to where like the bumps of the LEDs are, and then I'll pin it down. So actually I trimmed it and then I pinned it down, so it's easier for me to see where is the center line of my top. So now I'll sew just like really close to this traced line, but on the inside. So I sewed around my heart, and I also left some space for the traveling lines, so I skipped over those. And now I'll just trim around it. So now I want to feel around the LED so I can cut a hole so it will shine through. So I'll pinch it and cut around it. I'll cut off that small circle. And then I'll push the cover fabric towards the back of the LED. So now that I cut out all the circles, I'll glue on these rhinestones that I've drilled a hole in the back using a drill press, and I'll just space them out evenly throughout using E6000 as my glue. So now that I've glued down my gems, I'll test it out. And this is how it looks. So in this tutorial, we learned just the basics of LED lighting for your cosplays. And we created a light-up heart with LEDs and sewed it onto a top, which I'll finish later once I sew the rest of the costume. But basically what I'll do, I'll have my traveling lines go in the back, and then I'll have it travel down from my top to my skirt, and then I'll have a skirt on my skirt I'll have a battery pack with a switch. I'll be using this switch, which has like 3 prongs. On the switch cover, it has instructions on how to assemble it, and it'll just go like that. But yeah, that's it for this tutorial. If you have any questions, just email me or message me on my Facebook page. It's cherryteagirl Cosplay on Facebook. And yeah, so that's it. Good luck with your projects.